Hey there! On this episode of What Do You Make of This, I just wanted to do a quick mini video to walk you through the basics of how to just make a plain, good old-fashioned steamed rice. It is such an important basic recipe to know because it's delicious on its own, but it's also a great jumping off point for a countless number of recipes. Once you know how to make it, you've got it and you are set for life. But when you're first learning how to make steamed rice, there are a few variables that can snag you up. And I'm just gonna walk you through some of those things to help you ensure that you can really make a quick, easy batch of steamed rice every single time. So the first thing I'm going to do is start by just measuring out 1 cup of plain white rice. And there's a lot of different white rices out on the market. You use which one you like. The same ratio will work for all of them. I'm using a long grain white rice today. So I'm just going to carefully measure out 1 cup. And when I say 1 cup, I am using a measuring cup today, but I have been known in times where I can't find that measuring cup to just use a coffee mug. So really, you do have some flexibility there. If you don't have official measuring devices, any kind of cup will work for this. So this 1 cup of rice is going into a pot. Now, there is a train of thought when cooking rice, and I'm going to just flatten this out to show you what it is. That you put your rice into a pot and then you use your middle finger and you touch it to just the tip of the rice and you pour the water until it hits your very first knuckle. I have a problem with that because my fingers are probably not the same length as your fingers, which makes these very, very inconsistent units of measurement. So what I like to do and what has worked over and over and over again is for whatever device you used to measure your rice, for every 1 of these of rice, you are going to use 2 of water. So I did 1 cup of rice, I will now do 2 cups of plain water. Now I'm starting with plain water because this is how you do the most basic steamed rice, but you can also use stock. I've even seen people make it with apple juice, which is kind of interesting and just gives you a more sweet version and kind of almost more of a dessert rice. So feel free to play around with it. I'm gonna fill that up just a little bit more. Okay, so 2 cups of water going into that pot, and I'm just going to give it a quick little stir and get my heat up on boiling high, because next thing we're going to do is just wait for this water to come to a boil. So while that does it, the next thing you can do is really a case of to salt or not to salt your water. I personally like to put flavor wherever I can, so when I make steamed rice, I add salt. So to this pot, I'm going to do about a half a teaspoon of rice, not of rice, half a teaspoon of salt right into that pot, about that much. And just give it another stir while this water is coming up to temperature, and that's just going to help to dissolve the salt and make sure it's really evenly distributed. Now it's kind of cooking in more of a salty brine. Here too, you can also add all kinds of herbs. I've done this before with thyme, with rosemary, even fresh dill is really nice. So you can really, once you understand the basics of this, start to play around and have different kinds of flavors of rice so that it's different anytime that you make it. So I see just waiting for a few little bubbles to start, and it's already happening. When you do such a small amount, it's just 2 cups of water. If you've got your heat on high, it will actually come to a boil very quickly. So don't walk away or it will start to cook before you're ready for it. So once it's coming to a boil, you're just going to give it 1 more quick little stir. And this is just gonna make sure that no rice is sticking to the bottom of the pot and everything is kind of floating a little bit. And the next thing you're going to do is just pop a lid on. You want it to be a good, tight-fitting lid. If you don't have a lid for your pot, use some foil and then put a plate on top because you want to have a really good seal. I'm going to turn my heat down to low. Low as your stove can go. And this is another thing that can snag you up. Different stove burners all have different temperatures, so you will have to play around with this a little bit to figure out which one is your, as I like to call it, your lucky burner. Everybody has one on their stove that's just the one burner that makes perfect rice every time. And if I start making steamed rice on a different stove, I have to figure it all out all over again. So don't feel bad if the first time you do this, it just doesn't work out quite right. Try the next burner, move on, learn from it. So this is over low. I'm just going to let it sit for 20 minutes. Do not touch that lid. It can be so tempting to take the lid off and give it a stir because you're afraid it's going to stick. It won't, it's fine. It's water, it's going to steam. So just back away because the second you take that lid off, you're letting out all of that steam. We're making steamed rice. Keep your steam inside the pot. All right, we're going to let this hang out and get happy for the next 20 minutes and I will show you how it looks after that. Okay, so 20 minutes has gone by. Let's just take this lid off. Watch for steam when you do that. This is steamed rice. And this looks perfect. So all I'm going to do is just take my spoon, give it a quick little fluff, a little tiny bit of sticking at the bottom, but really nothing that a quick stir won't fix. But you do just want to give it a nice little fluff just to kind of help get things back a little bit. It's been just sitting and boiling, so it kind of compresses down, and this just makes for a nice fluffy serving of rice. And that's it. That's all you need for steamed rice. You can eat it right away. Sometimes I like to make it ahead of time and just reheat it when I'm ready for dinner. This 1 cup will usually make enough for 4 pretty good servings, but you can always double it, triple it. As long as you've got the ratio and you've got the know-how, you know how to make your steamed rice. So I've got this recipe just down in the description below. Please like and subscribe for more videos. I'm Jessica. Thanks for watching.